A car tire named Robert rolls through the desert southwest using its strange psychic powers to blow up birds, bunnies, human beings, and more. I'm Corey.
And I'm Paul.
And we are
the B-Movie Bros. Here we review B-movies to the best of our abilities.
Sometimes we get off topic, but randomness is a gift. This week we bring you a review of the movie Rubber from the year 2010. So let's just jump right into this shit here and talk about the technical difficulties here, the top three and bottom three of this movie. What would you like to start with, Paul?
I'll start with the top three.
Alright, why don't you go ahead and start, because I just don't fucking care.
Alright, for number three I'm going to have to go with, I typically tend to enjoy movies that are really self-aware. It was obvious that the audience, the ones with the binoculars watching the events and talking and giving commentary, were supposed to be the audience, and they're commenting basically how ridiculous the movie is. And at one point, the people in the movie, the cop, they actually kind of like get bored of what's going on, and they're like aware that what's going on is a movie, and they can't stop filming it as long as
there's an audience member.
As long as there's an audience member. It was really kind of weird, but I kind of like the self-awareness of it. I just typically kind of like movies that are kind of clever like that. But number two, I'm going to have to go with, I honestly sympathized with Robert's plight. He was this tire rolling around, not knowing why. He was seemingly the only tire in existence that was self-aware. It was
sentient.
Sentient, that's the word. And he was just trying to find meaning in basically a meaningless kind of existence. And I sympathized with him. I liked Robert.
He had no reason for being.
As did nothing else. As they state in the beginning, there was no reason. And for number one, I'm going to have to go with I kind of appreciate the fact this movie at least tried to do something unique. I just got to give it credit for that. Like, I don't know. It didn't work at all, but, good for them for trying. And I'm glad that this movie wasn't, like, up your ass with, like, commentary and shit like that. I mean, that's kind of a nice thing. There are too many movies that are like, oh, well, this is a commentary on blah, blah, blah. It's like, this movie is just ridiculous.
I wish this movie was filled with, like, commentary of the fucking old men in the back of the Muppets theater.
That would be cool.
That'd be fucking awesome.
But, like, this movie didn't have a deep meaning, and that's, like, kind of nice. Like, I'm tired of, like, experimental films and art films being like, well, this is symbolic of there. Like, I don't.
Number three. This movie is only 82 minutes long. I mean, it could be longer. It also could be shorter. I'm not gonna lie there. 82 minutes did seem a little long for this movie, but fucking I'll take 82 minutes over fucking 152. Number two, the movie does have some funny moments, like the tire's horny. It's like going after this kind of cute, hot French girl and fucking watching workout videos on the TV and shit. And number one is the fact that the protagonist of the movie is a tire, and the tire is the killer. It is kind of original. I mean, I have seen rubber things killing people before, like in fucking Killer Condom.
The rubber that rubs you out.
It was nice to see the tire and to follow the tire through its seemingly lifespan. It had mildly entertaining possibilities, and fuck it, the tire, that's it, whatever. Bottom three, what kind of shit can we dig out of this movie as the worst of the worst? Because there was a lot of it.
Yeah, for number three, this movie, I felt like it was confused about its own premise. Like, in the beginning, they state that this movie is supposed to be, like, an homage to No Reason, but, like, then they kind of sort of have a plot, and they're not sure, like, is this reality? It's only reality if somebody's watching, so is it, like, Berkeley's whole, if a tree falls in the woods and it doesn't make a sound kind of thing? Like, I wasn't sure if they were trying to have something or not, and I don't know, like, that kind of bugged me. For number two, the whole, like, thing with the spectators after a while seemed kind of pointless. It could have just been about I liked the whole thing with him commenting on what was going on. It's like they were the audience, but it seemed kind of weird, and then they tried to kill it to end the movie. That seemed kind of just out of nowhere, and I didn't really like it at all. And for number one, I'm gonna have to go with this movie was either a joke or completely up its own ass. It's about a fucking tire rolling around and just doing shit. Like, was it a joke or was it legit? I have no fucking clue.
Number 3 for me, this movie has a mantra. It has a theme. And the theme of this movie is, it happens for no reason. The opening of this movie, they fucking drive a car down and knock a bunch of chairs over, and this cop climbs out of the trunk, and he gets out, and he gives this big speech, which I guess is supposed to be some kind of inspirational shit. In this movie, by this famous director, in E.T., Steven Spielberg's E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. Why is the pianist this dirty-looking motherfucker? Well, because Harvey Keitel kind of looks like a dirty-looking motherfucker. But, in in Rubber, they say, no reason.
It was real weird to say, like, confuse reason with, like, meaning. Where it's like everything has a reason, has a function, I'm sure, but, like, it doesn't really have a deeper meaning, and I don't know, that annoyed me they didn't clarify the difference.
So they establish in this movie, very early on, that, if you question anything in this movie, just remember, there's no reason for it. We just felt like doing it because we're not, intelligent enough to create any kind of reason for this happening. We don't want to come up with a backstory. We don't want to, come up with a conclusion. We don't want to come up with a coherent plot line. Why? No reason. No, because you're a fucking idiot trying to make a goddamn movie. Number 2, the people watching the movie, the audience, the self-awareness that this movie has in that, it's just fucking stupid. And it's annoying. Most of the characters in that section of the movie, they have no bearing on the movie. There's no reason for them to be there. They don't advance the plot line. They are there to take up time, to extend this movie, which even at 82 minutes is too fucking long.
But that was the point of it. They weren't part of the movie. They were observing it. That you can't say it didn't advance it. That was the whole point of it.
The whole point of it was to take up extra screen time. Let's not lie.
Okay, I'm
going
to disagree with you on that one. The whole point of them being there was to comment on it, to like point out the obscurity of it and everything, and the fact that it was being observed as a movie, therefore it had to keep being that way. I mean, I thought it was stupid they had to kill them off for it to end, but like I disagree with you on that one.
And that too, they kill them off. Why? Okay. No reason.
Well, yeah, they had to end the movie somehow because apparently people couldn't just stop observing. It was very strange.
But I found it so annoying and beside the point, and I feel like it detracted from the movie, and that's why that's in my bottom 3. And then number 1, like you said, this movie is so full of itself. From the opening speech to the end, where spoiler alert, in case we haven't spoiled enough of the fucking piece of shit this movie is for you. The tire shows up in front of the sign for Hollywood, as if this movie is making a statement that it's going to take on Hollywood and that it has a chance of winning because, fucking pretentious fuck nut cocksucker motherfucking, yeah, this movie fucking sucks. And it thinks that its shit don't stank. And that is, my top and bottom 3 of this movie.
Okay, so I think we have a few disagreements of it. Neither of us were fans of it, but I think you definitely hated it a lot more than I did.
You haven't sat through this movie twice.
I didn't need to.
I sat through this entire movie twice.
Well, that was your fault.
Once years ago, probably about 6 years now. This movie came out 6 years ago.
That was your decision. I can't be responsible for your bad decisions.
So yeah, at this point in our show, we normally get into a nice little edition of Quote Wars.
Quote Wars.
So Paul's gonna have some kind of talking quotes, and I'm just going to imitate the tire using its psychokinetic powers to fucking blow up the heads of whoever he's fucking quoting.
Why do some people like sausages and some don't? No fucking reason. I wonder if the tire is gonna get laid, she'll probably give him a blowjob. Oh god, the kid was right. The killer is a tire. Wait, it's not the end. He was reincarnated as a tricycle.
And that ends this episode's edition of Quote Wars. If you would like to tell us who won this episode's Quote War, please tweet us at BMovieBros. That's all one word. Find us on Facebook at B-Movie, space B-R-O-S, BMovieBros. Tell us who had the best quote, who won this Quote War. If you've seen the movie Rubber for some ungodforsaken reason, tell us what you think about it. What's your favorite quote? Did it have any quotable moments? So let's get into our final take here. Let's give this a score on our shot scale. Of course, remember, our shot scale is a reverse scale, 1 to 10. 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. How many shots do you need to get through this movie? On the shot scale, Paul, just a number score, what are you going to say?
I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10 on our shot scale. Why don't you tell us why, and then I'll explain my reasoning today.
Rubber was an experimental film in which there was no reason for anything. It was an interesting idea, and it's kind of nice to get away from the normal kind of pretentious art films where everything has meaning and is symbolic. But this movie was completely pointless, and at about 92 minutes, it felt like it was forever. For such a weird movie, it's amazingly unthought-provoking. At least I can say that I'll remember it at least a week from now, but it really left very little impression on me. I can just kind of say, like, yeah, I saw it and it was weird. Like, I won't be saying much about it, because, yeah, it's about a fucking tire. I kind of think this movie is either a complete joke or is making fun of just art films in general. Like, I can barely believe that it was really an honest try, and that would probably make it a lot better. If this movie had been a 10-minute long short, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, but at 82 minutes, just come on.
So, normally I have kind of like how Paul talked. If you've listened before, you know. I give a little, like, description of why, in a narrative form, I give my score. Today it's a little different. What I did, I came up with a list of pros and cons for the movie. And I took the number of cons and then the number of pros and did a little bit of math and came up with my score that way. So, you know, as far as the pros go, the tire, Robert, as the protagonist and the killer, awesome. The girl that he's following has really shiny hair, and I've been drinking, so that's a pro. I never got tired of making up puns during this movie for the fact that it's a movie about a tire. The wheelchair guy is just fucking awesome, and Robert gets reincarnated as a tricycle at the end. That was pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty interesting twist. Now for the cons. I had to sit through this entire movie. The no reason mantra. The psychokinetic power sounded like a fat person's jowls jiggling when they shake their head back and forth. This movie was way too self-aware. For those of you that know about the show Doctor Who, the first season of New Doctor Who, with the 9th Doctor, his companion Rose was played by Billie Piper. I fucking hate Rose. And there's an actress in this movie that looks kind of like Billie Piper. And every time she talks, I find myself yelling at the screen, "Shut the fuck up, Billie Piper!" Just like I do when I'm drunk watching the first season of Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. The cop/actor guy is a dickhead. There's a very slow pace to the movie. There's a pointless montage at one point about the tire. The scenes are very drawn out. There's no frontal nudity at all in the movie. The tire's name is never mentioned during the film. Only in the credits is it said that the tire's name was Robert. The tires at the end of the movie are, like, ready to attack Hollywood in a very symbolic, fucking deep meaning, some kind of shit. The movie is too long, even at 82 minutes, which is short for a movie. And the credits include the no reason speech for a second time. In case you forgot the 10-minute speech at the beginning of the fucking movie about how nothing has any reason, remember, no reason. So I came up with 14 cons for this movie, 5 pros. 14 minus 5 equals 9. Henceforth, the score of 9 out of 10 for me. Excuse me while I get another drink.
This is not gonna win number. This isn't even gonna break. This is gonna get the bottom for you for this month. More than likely.
You can never tell that. I mean, come on.
I mean, the other movies have to be real shitty to like.
Santa Claus remained on top for me for most of December, and I hated that movie.
That one oddly won for me.
So yeah, 5 out of 10 for Paul, 9 out of 10 for me. I know not everybody likes the same kind of shit that we do. So we like to give every B movie we review an A movie companion. A movie of a higher class that's just the same movie as this, but, better quality. So, Paul, why don't you tell us, what is your A movie companion for Rubber?
Alright, well, my A movie companion is the 2009 movie Antichrist by Lars von Trier.
And then my A movie companion is going to be the 2009 film Avatar by James Cameron. Paul, can you tell us about Antichrist?
Okay, so Antichrist is this artsy film by this guy named Lars von Trier where a man and a woman go into a cabin after their baby dies, and the woman tries to kill her husband, and a bunch of weird shit happens. Both movies have a theme of lack of meaning in life. In the movie Antichrist, the woman believes that life is meaningless after her baby falls out a window. And the movie Rubber basically focused around the idea of no reason. Both movies took place in secluded areas. Antichrist took place in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and Rubber took place in a desert. Well, kind of a hotel in a desert, but yeah, desert. Both movies had really good cinematography. Both movies had someone or something trying to kill someone else. In the movie Rubber, the tire, Robert, tried killing a bunch of people. And in the movie Antichrist, the woman, and it's not that I forgot her name, they actually don't have names. The
French woman.
No, she's I think she's British in it. The woman is played by Charlotte Gainsbourg. I believe she's British, and the man is William Dafoe, who's obviously not French.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Rubber. You're talking about Antichrist. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Bad. Yeah, so they don't actually have names. It's just he and she. So if I call them man and woman, it's not that I forgot their names. She tries to kill her husband in the movie. And both movies just had scenes that just had no reason. Rubber was about a fucking tire killing people, and literally nothing had any reason. And in Antichrist, there's this one point where there's a fox that just, says chaos reigns, and it was just fucking weird. There's, a deer, with a baby deer sticking out of it, that's dead, and I don't know, it's really weird. And there's a whole thing where the mother was, for some reason, putting on the baby, its shoe on the wrong foot. You can force whatever meaning you want out of it, but fuck it. The movie was bullshit. It had nothing had any point. Lars von Trier is well known for for really great cinematography, having a bunch of shit happen that means fucking nothing. So yeah, that's why Antichrist is a movie version of Rubber.
So I picked James Cameron's Avatar from 2009, and seeing as how the mantra for the movie Rubber is no reason, I picked James Cameron's Avatar for no reason. But if you want a few deeper things, let's say that, Rubber has a few, deep things that they try and make it seem like it's more than it really is. James Cameron's Avatar tries to become this social commentary on God knows what, when it in actuality is not. All it is another fucking goddamn retelling of Romeo and Juliet. And everybody in the world goes, oh my god, Avatar, it's so good. No, it's not. It's a fucking Romeo and Juliet remake. You fucking trash other movies that are Romeo and Juliet remakes. Why not this one? Oh, because it's James Cameron. He has deeper meaning. And, you know, Rubber, this guy's like, oh, no reason, but really, this is an art film. No, it's a piece of shit of just stuff thrown together to try and impress people. Just like Avatar. He threw it together, put fucking awesome graphics up, and was like, look, this movie's awesome because I'm James Cameron. And fucking the guy that made Rubber was like, hey, look, it's as artsy. And I'm telling you there's no reason, but really, it's to try and impress you. And that's why Avatar is an A-movie version of Rubber. It's just made to try and impress you. That's it. I'm done. You know what? I'm gonna take a fucking drink, then I'm gonna tell you how to drink away the flick. Drink away the flick. Come on and grab your drink. Let's drink away the flick. So here you go. Number 1. Every time something happens for no reason, drink. Which means just fucking drink this entire goddamn movie. Number 2. Every time Robert kills something, drink. Number 3. Every time they show the audience, drink. Number 4. Whenever Robert is testing his abilities, drink. And number 5, of course, because it's How the Fuck Did That Kill You month, which we haven't mentioned this episode yet for some ungodly reason. Every time you think to yourself, how the fuck did that kill you? Like, you know, how the fuck did that tire kill you? Take a drink. And that's it for me, Paul.
Alright, like I said, every time the audience comments on the tire, take a drink. Every time somebody's head explodes, take a drink. Every time the tire is just kind of rolling around in the desert for no reason, take a drink. And every time you feel you need to take a drink because you've watched this movie for too long, take a drink.
And those are your ways to drink away this flick. Now, if you want to join us next week, we are going to be watching the 1985 horror movie, The Stuff. Now, of course, because this is How the Fuck Did That Kill You month, of course it can't be your standard horror film. You know what tries to kill you in this one, Paul?
Isn't it ice cream?
Yes. Ice cream.
That's
Killer
awesome.
motherfucking ice cream. If you have any comments on the movie Rubber, or anything else we've watched this month, or have any suggestions for us, find us at Twitter, at BMovieBros, that's all one word. Find us on Facebook at B-movie, space B-R-O-S, that's BMovieBros. And yeah, any last words, Paul?
No, I think we've said too much about Rubber at this point.
So until next time, folks, be brave, be alive, be back next week.